They say the richest people in the world can buy everything, luxury, fame, power, but what if the one thing their heart longs for is something money can never give? Imagine this, a billionaire with all the wealth anyone could dream of, yet his little daughter, his only child, was born blind and had never once seen his face. From the moment she came into the world, darkness was her only companion, and no amount of doctors, hospitals, or expensive treatments across countries could change her fate, or so everyone thought. Until one ordinary maid walked into their mansion and uncovered a truth no one had ever dared to believe, and what happened next shocked even the billionaire himself. But before I take you into this life-changing journey of secrets, tears, and miracles, I want you to pause for just a second and hit that like button right now, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because stories like these will remind you that hope is sometimes found in the most unexpected places. The story begins in a massive estate on the hills, where glass walls reflected the sky and golden gates kept the world outside, but inside that beautiful mansion was a silence that no luxury could fill. The billionaire, Mr. Adrian Cole, was a man everyone envied for his success in business and his unmatched fortune, yet those who looked closer knew his eyes carried an emptiness, a heaviness only a father's grief could explain. For his daughter Isabella, born with the gentlest face and the purest heart, had never opened her eyes to the colors of the world. She was 12 now, her golden hair cascading like a crown, her soft hands always reaching out to feel her surroundings, memorizing the shape of furniture, the texture of curtains, the smell of roses in the garden, but never the colors that painted them. Adrian had flown in specialists from Europe, surgeons from America, and miracle healers from Asia, but every visit ended in disappointment, and the words, "She will never see," became chains around his heart. Isabella, though blind, was no ordinary girl. She was intelligent, witty, and courageous, often telling her father that she didn't mind her condition because she could see with her heart, but Adrian never forgave himself, thinking his billions were useless because he couldn't give his daughter the one gift every child deserved. Into this sorrowful yet golden world stepped a young maid named Clara, a woman in her 20s, dressed humbly, her dark hair tied neatly, her eyes sharp yet kind. She had been hired recently after dozens of maids came and went, unable to handle the strict routines of the Cole mansion. Clara was different. She didn't just see her work as dusting and cleaning, she noticed things others ignored, details that whispered secrets beneath the surface. From her very first day, she was drawn to Isabella, who, unlike many children of wealthy families, greeted her warmly, asking her to sit and talk, to describe the world outside that she couldn't see. Clara, with patience and tenderness, told her stories about sunsets, the shine of rain on leaves, the sparkle of stars at night, painting pictures with words until Isabella smiled as if she could almost see them. But as the days passed, Clara began noticing strange things, small details that didn't quite fit the tragic story everyone in the mansion repeated. Sometimes, Isabella would turn her head slightly toward movements she shouldn't have been able to notice, as if catching light she wasn't supposed to see. Other times, when Clara opened the curtains suddenly, she thought she saw Isabella's pupils react faintly, narrowing in response to brightness, but the doctors had always claimed her eyes were incapable of that. Clara didn't say anything at first, brushing it off as her imagination, but one evening while cleaning Isabella's room, she found stacks of medical reports locked away in a drawer. Most of them confirmed Isabella's blindness, but one newer file caught her attention. It wasn't signed by the usual doctors but by someone she didn't recognize, and it mentioned neurological blockage, not total blindness. Clara's heart raced. Why would such a report be hidden away, and why hadn't Mr. Cole been told? That night, Clara couldn't sleep, her mind spinning with suspicion that something far deeper was at play. The next morning, she gently tested Isabella by holding up a bright red ribbon silently in front of her. Isabella tilted her head and said softly, "Clara, are you holding something near me? It feels different." Clara's eyes widened. Isabella couldn't possibly know unless some trace of vision existed. Clara grew bolder, moving her hand slowly in front of Isabella's face. Again, her eyes flickered slightly as if detecting motion. This was no coincidence. Could it be that Isabella wasn't completely blind, but someone had let the world believe she was? And if so, why? Clara decided to take her suspicions to Mr. Cole, but approaching a billionaire wasn't easy, especially one guarded by walls of pride and grief. When she finally gathered the courage, Adrian dismissed her quickly, his voice tired. "Miss Clara, I've spent millions chasing false hope. Please, don't fill my daughter's head with dreams that will only break her heart." His words were firm, but Clara noticed the tremor beneath them, the desperate ache of a father too afraid to believe again. Still, Clara refused to give up. Over the following days, she continued her quiet tests with Isabella, watching how the girl responded to light and shadow, carefully recording her reactions. Isabella began to ask questions herself. "Clara, sometimes I feel like the world isn't as dark as I thought. Is that crazy?" Clara would squeeze her hand and whisper, "It's not crazy at all." Then one stormy night, when thunder cracked across the sky and the mansion lost power, Clara lit a single candle and placed it near Isabella's bed. To her shock, Isabella gasped and whispered, "It's warm and glowing, isn't it?" Clara nearly dropped the candle, her heart pounding with proof that Isabella wasn't lost in total blindness after all. But this discovery meant more than hope, it meant danger, because someone had been keeping the truth buried, and Clara knew powerful people never liked their secrets uncovered. Little did she know that revealing the truth would shake the Cole mansion to its core, exposing lies, betrayal, and a chance at a miracle that could change Isabella's life forever. The stormy night had passed, but Clara's discovery of Isabella's faint vision burned brighter than any candle. She knew she had to act quickly, for every day the truth was hidden was another day stolen from the girl's future. The next morning, Clara went straight to Mr. Cole, holding nothing back this time. She explained everything she had seen, from the way Isabella's pupils reacted to the flicker of light to the medical report mentioning neurological blockage. At first Adrian dismissed her again, weary from years of disappointment, but when Clara lit another candle in his study and brought Isabella inside, the moment of truth unfolded. Isabella turned her face toward the flame and whispered, "Father, I think I see something." Adrian froze, his powerful frame trembling as tears rushed to his eyes, for in that instant he realized Clara was right. Desperate for answers, Adrian summoned a new team of specialists, not the ones he had relied on before, and after days of tests, the shocking truth came out: Isabella had not been born completely blind at all. Her condition was caused by a rare but treatable nerve blockage that previous doctors had either overlooked or deliberately concealed, perhaps to keep the billionaire paying endlessly. Rage and relief flooded Adrian's heart, and though the betrayal cut deep, the hope of his daughter's healing was stronger. With Clara's persistence, Isabella was scheduled for surgery, and weeks later, the moment finally came. As the bandages were removed, Isabella blinked against the light, and for the first time in 12 years, her eyes opened wide to the world she had only imagined, her father's face, lined with tears, and Clara's smile glowing with triumph. Isabella sobbed as she whispered, "So this is light," and Adrian dropped to his knees, hugging her as if he'd never let go. He looked at Clara with gratitude that words could not contain, knowing that all the wealth in the world could not repay the maid who had given him back his daughter's sight. From that day forward, Isabella lived not in darkness but in the brilliance of a truth uncovered by kindness, courage, and faith, and Adrian made sure Clara was never again called just a maid, but family. And now, dear viewers, if this story touched your heart the way it touched theirs, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe right now, because sometimes the smallest voices uncover the greatest miracles, and you don't want to miss the next story that might just change how you see the world.